Hey guys. Okay, so today I just wanted to talk to you guys about something kind of serious. I know, serious, not fun, but this is something really important, especially with all the stuff that's going on in this country with all of the fentanyl overdoses and this new thing that's out that they say is even more poisonous than fentanyl. You're going to hear my Frenchie cupcake in the background. So just be prepared for that because she's going to do what Frenchies do. She wants all of the attention. But anyway, I was listening to an interview yesterday and I really got to thinking, and I did a lot of research during my getting my master's degree about this, especially about Portugal and the way they had changed their drug laws. And the interview yesterday that I heard was pertaining to something similar, but they brought up the Juice World incident. And so you have this young man, he's boarding his plane, he knows he has pills on him, and the feds pull up. And instead of wanting, he knows he's going to do an extreme amount of time simply for having recreational drugs, he swallows these pills and he dies. And that should not be the norm in this country. That should not be the only choice someone has in this country instead of doing some insane amount of time in prison. So, the war on drugs is the biggest failure of a war that this country or the world has ever had. We have spent more money and had more casualties in the war on drugs than every other war put together that we have had since this country has been founded. And when something is on the black market, it causes crime to circle it, of course. And that's when murders and overdoses and robberies and all of that occur. So I believe in 2001, Portugal decided that they would decriminalize drugs. And so what they did is you have to have a license. It's a shop like some of these marijuana shops, but they sell whatever, cocaine, LSD, whatever, and they pay taxes to the government. And what Portugal saw happen was that there was an extreme, I don't have the numbers right in front of me. I had the article pulled up earlier, but an extreme, like 70% decrease in murders and robberies and assaults in the criminal area surrounding drugs because there was no black market for it. People can walk into stores and buy it, and so there's no need for, drug dealers robbing each other or whatever, people getting killed for drugs, things like that. Not only that, but they saw an extreme decrease in overdoses. It was like something close to the 70%. It was over 50% also. It was like 60-something% decrease in overdoses. And what they did was they used the money that they were making from the taxes on these stores, and they built rehabilitation centers. And so their drug addiction rate is down, like, again, I don't have it in front of me, but it was some extreme number, like in the 70s also, 70% down drug addiction from when they started in 2001 to 2017, their drug addiction rate was down like in the 70%. So, I don't know about now, but I'm sure it's more. And just the crime in their country is down in general. So, when you have people that are addicted to drugs or trying to get drugs illegally, it causes them to be willing to do anything to get them. And so things happen, bad things happen. Too many people, too many young people every single day. I just looked at our local news website yesterday, and 4 of the stories were about fentanyl overdoses. It's just, there's too many young people, too many good people, too many innocent people, too many people, period. Nobody should be dying from this shit. And nobody should be having their arms and legs rotting off from this trank or whatever it's called, because they're living on the streets and they can't go to doctors and get their wounds cleaned. So they end up losing limbs and eventually dying from it. We are supposed to be one of the richest and most advanced countries in the world. And we have one of the worst drug programs in the world. We continue to fight a war on drugs that can never be won, that was started by, the war on drugs was created by a drug kingpin, Ronald Reagan. And so how it was ever supposed to work, I don't know. It wasn't ever supposed to work. They create addicts to make more money, to arrest dealers, to fill jails, and it goes on and on from there. This country is not about rehabilitation in any sense when it comes to any crime. But we need to push our lawmakers. We need to push our lawmakers in every level, from your local all the way up to federal, because it's going to start with your local lawmakers. They are going to be the ones citywide, because you have some cities that are way more advanced than others in turning this stuff around. But I just wanted to touch on that, because while we talk about all these other wars, we are losing the biggest war of all, and we're losing young people to it every single day. So if you don't think, there's a quote, I think it was by Margaret Thatcher, and it says, if you don't think that a small group of committed citizens can change the world, then you're wrong, because it's the only thing that ever has. And that's the truth. So we have to start somewhere. And like I said, we need to be pushing our leaders, our local leaders and federal leaders. But like I said, it starts at the local level. We have to decriminalize drugs. We have to focus on rehabilitation. We have got to do that. We have to stop looking at addicts as aliens. They are people that are sick. They have a disease. And until they are healed, the process will continue to go in a vicious circle. And we have got to stop putting people in prison for decades for selling substances to another consenting adult. That is the silliest, craziest thing ever. Now, these people that know that there's fentanyl or whatever else in a drug and pretend there's not are a totally different story. I don't have any sympathy for those people. But if Portugal can do it, we can do it. And it's time people stop dying for nothing. And it's time people stop going to prison for nothing. Contact your local senators. Contact your local city officials and tell them that it's time to decriminalize drugs, that it's time to stop putting people in prison for drugs, addicts and dealers. If enough of us do it, we can change things, but it has to start somewhere. God bless y'all. Happy Easter. I hope you have a blessed weekend with your family, whatever you do.